You're waiting for a green light that's never going to turn. You're sitting in the car, engine idling, staring at a horizon that keeps moving further away the longer you stay still. You think you're being patient, but you're actually just dying in slow motion. I know that heavy feeling in your chest when you wake up. It's that quiet, nagging ache that tells you another day is about to be traded for nothing. You tell yourself you're preparing. You tell yourself you're waiting for the right energy, the right amount of money, or the right person to give you permission to finally start living. But let's be honest, your perfect time is just a well-dressed version of your fear. It's a ghost. It's a hallucination you have created to make your cowardice feel like a strategy. You aren't waiting for the stars to align when you're waiting for the risk to disappear. And newsflash, it never does. The brutal truth is that time doesn't respect your potential. Time doesn't care that you have a great idea or that you're destined for more. The universe is indifferent to your almost. Every minute you spend polishing a plan you never execute is a minute you've buried in a graveyard of regret. You are trading your limited, precious heartbeat for the comfort of a couch and the safety of a dream that stays in your head. Is that really the trade you want to make? Your soul for a little more sleep? Your legacy for a little less friction? Stop lying to yourself. You aren't stuck. You are choosing to stay. There is a war happening inside you between the person you are and the person you know you're supposed to be. The person you are likes the warmth of the blanket. They like the distraction of the scroll. They like the lie that tomorrow will be easier. But the person you're supposed to be is screaming. They are suffocating under the weight of your excuses. You think the pain of starting is high. Try the pain of looking in the mirror at 50 and realizing you never actually showed up to your own life. That's a pain that doesn't go away with a workout or a paycheck. That's a permanent scar. We need to talk about the lie of readiness. You think that one day you'll wake up and the fear will be gone, the bank account will be full, and the path will be paved with gold. But readiness is a fairy tale told by people who are too afraid to bleed. If you wait until you're ready, you'll be waiting in your grave. The greatest things in this world weren't built by people who felt prepared. They were built by people who were terrified, broke, and exhausted. But they moved anyway. Think about the cost of your hesitation. Every day you delay is a day you've handed over to the version of you that fails. You're literally feeding the monster that keeps you small. You think you're saving energy for the big moment, but energy isn't saved, it's generated. You don't get the fire until you strike the match. You don't get the momentum until you push the car. Stop asking for the result before you've even stepped onto the field. Look at your life. Look at the corners you've cut. You've become a professional at almost. You almost started that business. You almost wrote that book. You almost committed to that habit. But almost is the most expensive word in the human language. It's the bridge that stops halfway across the canyon. It's the parachute that never opens. Almost is just a polite way of saying, I quit before I started. Are you waiting for a sign? Is that it? You want a lightning bolt? A burning bush? The fact that you're still breathing is your sign. The fact that you're listening to this, feeling that uncomfortable burning in your throat, is your sign. That discomfort isn't an enemy. It's your potential trying to break through the concrete of your complacency. Stop trying to numb it. Start using it as fuel. Comfort is the coffin they build for your potential. It's soft, it's warm, and it's where dreams go to rot. You were not born to be comfortable. You were born to be a force. You were born to take up space, to create ripples, and to leave a mark that doesn't wash away with the next tide. But you can't do that from the sidelines. You can't win a race you refuse to enter. Let's look at the clock. It's ticking, but it's not just counting seconds. It's counting down your life. Every tick is a choice you didn't make. Every talk is a risk you didn't take. You think you have an infinite supply of laters, but you're spending a currency you can't earn back. You are a billionaire in time today, but you're bankrupting your future self every time you say not now. The world doesn't owe you a good time to start. The wind is always going to blow against you. The rain is always going to fall. If you're waiting for the storm to pass before you set sail, you're not a captain. You're a spectator. Success isn't found in the calm. It's forged in the chaos. It's found in the messy, ugly, uncoordinated first step. You're terrified of looking stupid. That's the real anchor, isn't it? You're scared of failing in front of people who don't even care about you. You're letting the opinions of people who are also stuck dictate how far you're allowed to go. But here's the secret. Nobody is watching you as closely as you think. They're all too busy drowning in their own some days to notice your today. Stop treating your life like a rehearsal. This is the main stage. There are no do-overs. There is no new game button. When the lights go out, the only thing that will matter is if you actually played the game or if you just sat in the locker room complaining about the weather. Do you want to be the person who had potential or the person who had results? Potential is just a nice way of saying you haven't done anything yet. Identity isn't something you find, it's something you build with your hands. You aren't a writer because you have an idea. You're a writer because you wrote. You aren't a leader because you have a title. You're a leader because you stepped up when everyone else stepped back. Your identity follows your actions, not your intentions. If you want to change who you are, you have to change what you do, right now in this moment, while it's still uncomfortable. The reason you haven't started isn't that you lack a plan. It's that you're addicted to the comfort of the waiting room. In the waiting room, you can still be a winner in your head. In the waiting room, you haven't failed yet because you haven't tried yet. But the waiting room is a coffin with the lid still open. Every day you stay there, the air gets thinner, your muscles get weaker, and the light at the door gets smaller. You keep looking for a how-to guide, but the how is a distraction from the why. If your why was strong enough, you'd be okay with doing it wrong. You'd be okay with looking like a fool. The most successful people you see online, the ones you envy, they weren't smarter than you. They were just more willing to be embarrassed. They were willing to put out a bad first video, a broken first product, a messy first draft. They realized that a finished bad thing is worth infinitely more than a perfect thing that doesn't exist. Look at your habits. Your habits are the oracle of your future. If I look at your last 24 hours, I can tell you exactly where you'll be in 5 years. Are you scrolling to escape a life you hate, or are you building a life you love? Are you consuming other people's dreams because you're too scared to face your own? Distraction is the tax you pay for not having a vision. If you don't give your mind a mountain to climb, it will find a hole to dig. Stop waiting for your vibe to be right. Discipline doesn't care about your vibe. Discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done when you feel like absolute hell. It's the bridge between the person you are and the person you want to become. Motivation is a fair weather friend. It shows up when the sun is out and the coffee is hot. But discipline is the one who stays when the lights go out and the world is screaming at you to quit. You think you need a miracle. You don't. You need a Tuesday. You need a boring, mundane, uninspired Tuesday where you just put in the work anyway. The perfect time is a lie, but the present moment is a miracle. It is the only space where you have any power. Yesterday is a ghost that can't touch you. Tomorrow is a shadow that hasn't arrived. All you have is the weight of the pen in your hand or the keyboard under your fingers right now. Let's talk about the cost of your hesitation. Every day you sit there calculating the risk, you are actually taking the biggest risk of all. The risk of never becoming who you were meant to be. You think you're being careful, but you're actually being reckless with your soul. You're treating your time like it's a renewable resource, but it's a countdown. Every sunrise you waste is a page ripped out of the book of your life and thrown into the fire. The world is full of people who could have. The graveyards are filled with best-selling books that were never written. They are filled with revolutionary businesses that never left the napkin. They are filled with changed lives that stayed the same because someone was waiting for a better season. Don't let your name be added to that list. Don't let your legacy be a pile of what-ifs. You want a map, but the map only appears after you've started walking. You want the confidence before the competence, but that's not how the universe works. Confidence is the reward for survival. It's the prize you get for failing, getting back up, and realizing you didn't die. If you want to feel brave, you have to do the thing that scares the hell out of you while your knees are still shaking. The perfect time is a mirage in the desert. The closer you get to it, the further it recedes. It's a psychological trick your brain plays to keep you safe, to keep you in the cave where there are no predators. But there's no food in the cave either. There's no growth in the cave. There's just a slow, quiet starvation of the spirit. You've spent enough time thinking. Thinking is just a sophisticated way of procrastinating. Analysis paralysis is a luxury you can no longer afford. The person who does one thing badly is light years ahead of the person who thinks about doing 10 things perfectly. Movement is the only medicine for your anxiety. Action is the only antidote to your fear. Stop looking for a sign. Stop checking the weather. Stop waiting for the stars to align because they are already burning out while you sit there. The version of you that wins is the version that starts when they are tired, when they are broke, and when they are absolutely certain they're going to fail. Success is a messy, bloody, uncoordinated scramble. It is not a clean walk down a red carpet. It's the first stuttering words of a speech. It's the first line of code that crashes. It's the first workout where you feel like you're going to die. You think you need more information? You don't. You have enough. You think you need more connections? You don't. You need to be the person people want to connect with. You think you need more time? You have the exact same 24 hours that every legend in history used to change the world. The difference isn't the clock. The difference is the obsession. The difference is the refusal to let another sunset find you in the exact same place you were at dawn. Imagine yourself 1 year from today. One version of you started today. They stumbled. They looked stupid. They lost some sleep, but they moved. The other version of you waited for the perfect time. They stayed safe. They stayed comfortable, and they are exactly where you are sitting right now. Which one of those people can you live with? Which one of those people can you look in the eye when you brush your teeth tonight? The pain of discipline is a feather. The pain of regret is a mountain. Choose your weight. This is the moment, not tomorrow morning, not after the weekend. The shift happens in the next 10 seconds. It happens when you close this video and instead of scrolling to the next one, you do the thing. You write the first sentence. You make the call. You do the first rep. You kill the waiter inside of you and you give birth to the doer. The ghost of someday is a liar. The only thing that is real is now. You've been sleeping with your eyes open for too long. It's time to wake up. The world doesn't need more people who almost did something great. The world needs you, exhausted, terrified, and totally unprepared to finally show up. Your perfect time is a lie. Your now is a weapon. Pick it up, use it, and never, ever look back.